Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And in this video we're going to be talking about the event, the range CHASM Rising, which you have to get a perfect score in order for you to unlock the Power and Magic's CHASM level 70 fight. So before we begin, I would just like to apologize for the last two videos. It kind of sounded like I was really out of it, and to be honest, I was really tired still, but I still just pushed through it. So a bit sorry about that if I sounded really monotone in there. But in any case, this is basically the last video for the event, and if there are still people who are struggling with the Power and Magic's CHASM level 70 fight, getting that 32,000 points, I am still really considering doing a much in-depth analysis of the fight. Like I said, I already got the video ready to go. It's just a matter of actually doing some editing or something like that, and hopefully it can help people. So I might do that later, because I really felt like I cheated you guys out with the Power and Magic's CHASM 32,000 points, because the video there didn't really show, you know, how I got the 32,000 points. But in any case, I'll really do that after I finish editing this one. And with that in mind, let's get on with this video. So as always, we'll start with the general tips and guides. And the first one, well, you guessed it, it's try to limit your ability usage. It's basically, again, just trying to find out how your playstyle work here. You have to be aggressive in some instances and actually try and use your abilities. But there are some cases obviously that you can probably get away with not using it, but try to limit your ability usage. The next one is to obviously bring in the boosted characters such as Balthier, Shantoto, Terra, Edgar, Sarah, and Irvine. So in this case, it is actually suggested for you to bring any of these characters, because the range CHASM doesn't actually have much resistances in terms of like the normal attacks, so you can take advantage of each and every one of these characters. Now the next one is to bring range characters, obviously, because you want to take advantage of that range attacks. So Vincent, Laguna, Setzer, and even King and Cater can work here. Papalimo is another option because of his Astral Fire ability. The last boss, which is the Heretic Lich, is actually weak to fire, and you want to bring that. Something that I want you guys to note is to not actually bring Cecil in this fight, because the Leech is actually resistant to dark type attacks, which what Cecil does. So just try to avoid bringing Cecil in this fight. And again, if you are struggling with the HP damage, you obviously can bring your Brave Batteries and your HP regen characters such as Aerith, Aiko, and yes, Penelo. I haven't forgotten again. So those three are basically the best ones. As for other Brave Batteries like Hope and Vanille and such, you can bring those too. Now as for the support character, I do suggest just bringing a good DPS character for your team. However, you can also put your HP regen character for your support. For example, you can put 3 DPS characters for your main team, and for your support you can bring an HP regen and brave battery type of character, because at this point, really, since there's no resistances or anything like that, you just have to watch out if you get too damaged with the HP. So you don't really have to bring like a super DPS character for your support, but I do suggest that you do, because there are a limited number of turns that you can have, especially if you don't have max limit break or on any of your characters and you're just trying to work with whatever you have. So just keep that in mind. And as for my final tip for you guys, as always, is to bring Ifrit in this fight. And the reason for that is obviously for the 20% extra attack. And to be honest, I wouldn't recommend anything else, because the Heretic Leech is actually weak to fire, like I said earlier, and Ifrit is the best choice. And now with that in mind, let's go at this fight wave by wave. Alright, for the first wave, where we are going to be facing off 2 Heretic Goblin Mages and 1 Heretic Ice Bomb. Now this is a little bit different from the last 2 fights that we had. In this case, there are 3 monsters straight away, where in the other ones we used to just fight 2 at a time. So this can be a little bit challenging, especially for ranged characters that don't actually have like those brave plus HP attacks. From the top of my head, I can only think of Irvine as being the one who has like brave damage plus an HP attack ability. Everyone else seems to only have either a brave attack or an HP attack. So you do have to be a little bit careful here, and it makes it a lot more difficult, because you're gonna be using a lot more your abilities, and it feels like you don't really want to use it on the first wave. But in this case, I would suggest to you guys to actually try and use your abilities as much as you can. Obviously you don't want to use all of it, but you expect some HP damage in this fight, and having like Aerith, Penelo, and Aiko here to help with the HP regen is actually a very good strategy. So I mean, it's not that hard, but definitely some HP damage is unavoidable, I think. Now in the second wave, you're going to be fighting off on 2 Heretic Goblin Mages again. In this case, this is actually a little bit easier than the first wave. So all you have to do is actually, this is probably the wave where you can get away with not using much of your abilities. So yeah, just take these 2 down, and let's go on with the third wave. Alright, so in the third wave, we're going to be fighting off 2 Heretic Zeus. Now these Heretic Zeus are weak to fire and obviously the ranged physical attacks. So the one thing that you have to remember here is they actually don't fall down if you break them. You will have to concentrate on one of these Zeus in order for you to get away, I suppose, from this fight unscathed. But Dust Storm, which is a group magic brave attack, inflicts defense down and attack down as well, and it has a fair chance of it applying, so you have to be careful here. The attack down is probably the most annoying one out of the 2. The defense down you can sort of get away with, but the attack down just lowers your attack, and you know, it makes it so that you use up all the turns that you have. So again, in this fight, it's something like almost unavoidable to get HP damage, so having an HP regen here, especially if you have Ifrit as your summon, so you can take advantage of that 20% extra attack when you're at full HP. So you really want to use that. In this case, the only reason I bought Ashe here is because I actually didn't have any other characters. I used it all, and I didn't really want to repeat the other fights, so I can get away with adding a much stronger character in my team. So yeah, they don't have much HP but they are still pretty annoying, especially with that attack down. But once you have one down, then it should be fine. And again, don't be afraid to get broken here, but you obviously need to look at your turn rates and make sure that you're able to break them, and you have like high brave attackers. I mean, Ashe is pretty powerful in that regard. And that's it for this wave. Let's go on to the fourth wave. Now on the fourth wave, you're gonna be fighting off 2 heretic ice bombs. Now this is fairly simple, nothing to really write about. The only thing, I suppose, if it happens to you is if they attack each other and basically it swells up. You know that you're gonna be facing off with a self-destruct on the next turn. So just be careful of that and you should be fine. And let's skip to the last wave of this fight. So in the last wave of this fight, you're gonna be fighting off against 2 heretic leech. Now don't let their levels fool you, because they do have a decent amount of DPS. In this case, I did bring lightning as one of my DPS characters, and you can take advantage obviously of the lightning and Vincent combo, and you can obviously deal a lot of damage. In this case, this is the reason why I wanted you guys to bring a DPS support, because you really want to kill one of these leeches on your basically on your summon. When you use your summon, they should be just about to die, or you have a lot of brave built up for you to actually take them down. And once one is down, it's basically just a waiting game, and you know, you still have to worry about some of their skills that gives you a debuff called Doom and such as that. And I do believe I've covered basically all of the leech's abilities in the previous episodes or in previous videos. So basically the last boss is actually pretty easy, as long as you manage to take one down after your summon or during your summon. And I think that's about it for this video, guys. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful at all. As always, I'd like to hear from you guys. Which team did you use to actually beat this fight? And also, if you are interested in if I do any streams, because I have been working on doing a stream of me playing Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, but I'm not sure if there's any sort of demand for it. So if you guys are interested, please leave a comment down below. Also follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.